This rude gentleman is standing in the way of the glory shot that I wanted to take. But I guess looking up at him there is pretty dramatic, isn't it? As it happens, we've pushed our summoner class up to level, 52? Look at that ring. Ostentatious, I don't like it. Gotta throw on those Emperor's new rings into our glamour. I think we're looking pretty good right now, and I think also that we're going to do class quests for a few of the classes that we've been playing as soon as we finish with ARR. And that, 12 willing, should be soon. Let's get back to where we were before, the horrible, haunted tower, where the people were flickering in and out of being, and the nightmare things were going oof-ugh in the floor. Back at Spooky Tower. Hey, Abilene, talk to me. A Regaden gentleman dressed in the same manner as your companion. I'm sorry, but he did not come by here. Let me think a moment. I do, by the way, have AC and fan going full blast, so I hope that that's not interfering with our audio too much, and if it is, well, I'll see about not using it while recording in the future. It's fucking hot right here, this time of year, right now. I would not raise your hopes unduly, but there's a cave situated a short distance to the south. We call it Fury's Gaze, and it may be worth the while to investigate. I make the suggestion only because your friend seems like a selfless sort. Rather than drawing the enemy to this tower, mayhap he elected to pass us by. I was gonna say, what's the point of a military installation if you can't take shelter there? But then again, the Garleans are something of a titan. So maybe not a bad idea not to directly involve them, even though it does concern the disposition of the realm. Ignore me, little sprites. I'm 6 levels higher than you. Oh wow, this is quite a long wait. They're gonna dump us in an instance? Well, if they are, then you can see some of my tricks. Ooh, feel a chill running down my spine. So, first we throw out 2 dots, then we spread them. Shit, then we aggro everything. Start throwing out some instants. Ifrit has a total of 4 instant casts spread out across 2 spells. We make short work of fucking everything, is the long and short of it. We can cast Ruin with a cast time, or slightly weaker Ruin that is instant. I kind of like just using the instant one, honestly. I appreciate the mobility. We do have a heal, but it's sort of garbage. Boom. Handled. Oh, okay, well, he wasn't here, I guess. Maybe it'll tell us we saw some sign of him. Now show me my quest. I want to see the quest. For want of a better lead, you make your way there to investigate. Wedge. Arrowin, you be able to learn anything?
Not in this area. Well, that stands to reason, I suppose, seeing as he was trying to lure the Garleans away from me. But where within this vast sea of snow and ice could he be?
Keep talking.
We can't give up, Longpoint. We must find Biggs before he succumbs to the cold or is recaptured. There must be someone in this tower who can help us, even if it's only to tell us where else to look. Ask them for me, anyone who'll listen, and hurry. Biggs' chances of survival grow slimmer by the moment.
You got like fucking social anxiety, Wedge? I mean, people do listen to me. Oh, the way those tassels sort of spread out while I'm mounted does give me a little bit of an octopus vibe, doesn't it? Let's fly up the center. Bonk our heads on the ceiling. Ignace, your friend is lost in the wilderness, you say? If he's not to be found around here or in the vicinity of the Darkhold, it is possible he made for Whitebrim. To reach it, one must travel to Danifant Pass, the southern end of which lies to the north and east of here. While I make no guarantees that your search will bear fruit, it will It is surely better than worrying in idleness. I wish you luck. Oh, and one more thing. Do tread warily when climbing these stairs here. Not a moon ago, I nearly broke my neck when I slipped and took a tumble. He sort of veered from Spanish-Italian into Slavic there at the end. We're not experts. Kalian, it seems the fate of Monument Tower to watch the Watcher. It seems the fate of the Monument Tower. Oof. Seems the fate of Monument Tower to watch the Watcher. It was built to guard the Fury's gaze, and the stone beyond price hidden in its depth. And now it keeps vigil against the Garlean outpost, for the jewel that is Ishgard must never fall into the Empire's unclean hands. Ignace, you are not leaving snow and ice in your wake, I hope. The melted stuff is right hazardous, mark you. But a moon ago I near broke my neck when I slipped and took a tumble. I have survived countless campaigns against the dragons. I would sooner not be remembered as the knight who was undone by a puddle. The laughter would surely follow me all the way to the great beyond. I like that guy. He seems heroic. Heroic, but with down-to-earth concerns. That's just like us. We've got all kinds of down-to-earth concerns. If anybody ever let us speak, ever let us get a word in edgewise, they'd know that. So the class quests that we will do, if this plan holds, are definitely Summoner and Scholar, because they seem bonkers. Probably Paladin as well. And if I can power level it, I also would like to do the Lancer and Dragoon, because that one actually has bearing on Heavensward. We'll meet a character early. Hey! Our orders are to take you back, dead or alive. Which will it be, engineer? I don't remember what Biggs's voice was.
Well, why don't you come and find out, Tinhead?
Ah, Long Point. It is well that you are here. Situation is grave. Biggs is in a bad way. We need to do something right now. Ida has the right of it. He will perish if we delay. With me. He's not alone. Kill them all. Sorry, Cappy just sent me a picture that said normalize same height parties. Let's pop all these motherfuckers. All of them at once. Whew. This dude's got a lot of health. Reinforcements are coming, huh? The more the merrier. I'll pound you all into the next Umbral era. Ida, less provoking and more pummeling if you'd be so kind. Vanguards. Destroy them. Should probably have renewed our dots there, but I just spread them, why not? Heroines, stay close to Biggs. Where is Biggs? Alright, so those dots did not spread. Biggs, where are you? There you are. Shit. Well, let's try and save his ass, because I suspect if he dies, then we fail. Oh. These enemies are of, like, wildly different sturdinesses. Goodbye. We are kitted out in level 50 raid gear, which I think gets partly synced, but I'm not sure what degree. More than are conducive to merriment. This is the last of them. You sure? Goodbye, Vanguard. I should really build these things to be sturdier than, like, dudes. Just a thought, but that dude was quite the wall. And yet this living armor, nothing of the kind. Down with Garleans. Do you have a message to the people?
My thanks. Another moment, and I would've...
Ooh, he's in a bad way. He's been too long in the cold. We must find shelter for him. Now I'm the Italian. Monument Tower, you say? Very well. Ida and I shall bear him there with all haste. Sid will be so happy when he sees Biggs and Wedge again. Oh, I love reunions. I'm sure he will. His little flicker as it processes is a little bit disruptive to my focus. Snow hell. It's a place people had to cross on foot. I'm glad that I'm not one. $50 was a fine investment, not to need to do that. Hey there, Wedge. The Duke's weeping. The lights up there.
I can't thank you enough, Erwin, and the same goes for the rest of you. Thank you all so much.
Oh, don't mention it. We are family, are we not?
Well, yeah, it's just I didn't think I'd ever see him again.
I owe a lot of you my life. And you saved the wedges too, Long Point. I'm losing count of how many I owe you.
Wait, what's it?
Pegs, Wedge, Gods, it's good to see the two of you again.
Is that right? Wait, which one's Wedge and which one's Big? Chief, it's you. It's really you. In our hearts, we knew you were still alive, but to finally see you in the flesh.
But Alphino told me of the raid on the Waking Sands that he feared the worst. What happened? The enemy struck with nary a warning. We didn't stand a chance. Wedge and I were in the workshop when they came. Before we knew what was happening, the Imperials had us at gunpoint.
It must have been awful. There's one thing I don't understand, though. How did the Garleans get there so fast? I mean, the Immortal Flames should have seen them coming, right? I myself asked the same question. That day, when I returned to the carnage of the Waking Sands, I noted not a miss in horizon, nothing at all to suggest the passing of an Imperial force. From this, I conclude that the Garleans came neither by land nor air. No, they were born by the potent teleportation magics of the kind used by the Askians. Cappy's message to the team is, I, Captain Tastic, want to kill chaos. I believe that's a reference to the Stranger of Paradise trailer that released today and was singularly awful.
Carry on.
We were bound and blindfolded and bundled into the cargo bay of a waiting airship. I can't rightly say how long we were aboard, but when the time came for us to disembark, we found ourselves in the midst of an Imperial stronghold, Castrum Sentry. Upon arrival, we were marched off to the main complex. Biggs and I were thrown into a detainment cell together, while Minfilia and the others were taken elsewhere. That was the last we heard from them.
Castrum Sentry.
What should I make of it?
What happened next?
Well, we were held in isolation for what felt like years, but was probably moons, or only a few weeks. And then, without warning, the Imperials collected the pair of us and put us on another vessel, which we found out was bound for Garlemald, much to our dread. We knew that if we were taken back there, we weren't likely to leave again. So, risky though it was, we sabotaged the ship's altitude control, and thereby forced an emergency landing. And in the midst of the ensuing chaos, we managed to slip our captors. The rest, as they say, is history.
How?
That's his laugh.
Ha! If I didn't know any better, I'd call it a likely story. Sabotaging the altitude controls of an airborne vessel. That will have been Big's handiwork, like as not. You always were resourceful in a tight spot, friend.
Is that even the right voice? I feel like that's off. Oh, everybody's chuckling.
Long Point, thank you for returning my dear assistance to me. It would seem I owe you another debt of gratitude. There are still many questions in my mind, but the answers can wait, and Philly and the others will still want for rescue. Alright, you lot, Garland Ironworks is back in business.
Is this the right voice?
Let's go and give the Imperials what for.
I don't think it's the right voice. Notorious Biggs, of course. Notorious Biggs and Small, I guess. Hang on, I'm gonna check the voice real quick. Alright, got my sample back. Sid wants to prepare a strategy to rescue.
Thanks to you, Biggs and Wedge are with us again. Now we must find a way to rescue Philly and the others. Gods know we've kept them waiting too long already. Based on what we've learned, I believe it's safe to say they're being held at Castrum Sentry. So let us convene at Revenant's Towl in Mordona. This is as good a place as any to prepare you, and better than most. The road leading east then south will get you there. When we arrive, let us seek the advice of the local adventurers. We're bound to learn a thing or two that will benefit our mission.
Someday, I'm gonna remember what it was that voice was. Who is it that says, shut up, shut up, shut up? Do I have to listen to the entire Discworld audiobook discography again? I haven't done that in many years. Used to listen to them, not exactly on repeat, but I would often as not get through them and pick up another one. Hello, Slafborn. Schlafbjörn. Schlafbjörn. How you doing?
Well met, friend. What brings you to Revenant's Toll? Did I hear you rightly? Your friends are being held captive at Castrum Sentry and you want to rescue them. I don't mean to discourage you, but that might prove difficult.
Wait, was that? Was Wedge originally?
The stronghold has been on high alert of late, with armored patrols seen about the perimeter around the clock. Not even a fly could get in within 100 yards of the walls undetected.
If the Gallians are alerted to our coming, we cannot know what they will do to Minfilia and the others. We must act with the greatest stealth.
Aye, it has to be good old-fashioned infiltration.
With security so tight, how are we going to smuggle ourselves in? Maybe we need to get a voice for her. She's going to be around.
Why, I've a mind to walk through the front door.
The front door.
Aye, we'll disguise ourselves as Imperial troops and march right in. For this, we'll need a few sets of Imperial uniforms, a suit of Magitech armor, and impeccable timing.
Ah, that's a bold strategy, but it just might work. Where we are, there's certainly no shortage of opportunities to borrow the equipment. Knowing these Imperial bastards, they won't even suspect that we savage Eorzeans would think to use this technology.
Then it's settled.
If you're determined to go ahead with this, I'd recommend you speak to Glaumat. The fellow's got a personal grudge against the Empire and happens to know a deal about Castrum Sentry besides. I have no doubt that he'd want to be of aid.
Ida and I shall go to reconnoiter Gallian activity at the stronghold. It would not do if something were to befall our comrades before we had a chance to act. Come and join us when you're ready, heroine. Let's do this. Kinda makes me feel like I'm standing right here. Sometimes I wonder, Ida, are there ever times when you are not enthused? Nothing if not enthused. Oh, when you are enthused? I'm nothing if not enthused, Ishtola, and you're beginning to remind me of Papalaimo. I think I must have read that line wrong. I wish I could see the history. I'll review the tape. Schlafborn.
All adventurers worth their salt gather in Revenant's Toll. If you've a mind to rise above the sea of mediocrity, you've come to the right place.
Excellent. Hey, Glaumont. Looking for Glaumont, are you? Well, you found him, whoever you are. You're looking to get inside Castrum Sentry and you need my help? Something tells me we're gonna get along just fine. Come into my Castrum. So you have friends at Castrum Sentry who want for rescue. That Schlafborn knows me too well. Aye, you can count on my help. I've got a score to settle with the Imperials, and I never pass on an opportunity to get back at the Horsens. But enough about me. Let's talk strategy. Rescuing folk from captivity is right delicate business. Single oversight, just one little blunder, and it's all over. You can't leave any room for uncertainty. For starters, you need to confirm beyond the shadow of a doubt that your friends are where you think they are. You don't want to risk your neck only to discover they've been moved elsewhere. But how can you find out, you ask? By following these instructions. If you approach Sentry from the east, you'll see a swampland to your left called the Tangle. Get in there, never mind all the morbals, and navigate your way to the southwestern corner. Come upon some drainage pipes coming down from the stronghold. Don't ask me how I know, but one of them leads back up to the command tower. If you listen close, might be as you can eavesdrop on some of the happenings within. Once we know for certain your friends are there, we'll move to the next stage of the operation. Now get going, and Godspeed. This dude is weird looking. Can you make a human that looks like that? I don't like his face. He looks like a Kefka. Let's go investigate this drainage pipe. I think we should be able to fly directly to it. Although I bet you were attacked as soon as we examine it. In classic fashion. So this place is rent with crystals. I think it must have been a battlefield. See the standards in the tents. That too suggests as much. Are the blue crystals unaspected? It's not clear to me that a crystal's color directly connotes its aspect, although you'd think it would. Oh, I thought he was being eaten by this lentic mud puppy. Maybe he is. Let's save his ass. Allow me, sir. I come bearing what men call gods, and what I call my own will. I'm not entirely sure to what. What does the Warrior of Light know? Is the chocobo more real than the Ifrit? Or are both equally phantasmal? These are very fancy. Show me the drainage pipe. Go ahead, pull out the marble. I've got Dark Souls poisoning. I was expecting to be... I start taking poison status as soon as I stepped here. They're all bleeding down now. It's one of the things that makes the summoner kind of exciting is they have the capacity to cleave, which apparently is rare in Final Fantasy XIV. That is to say, I can really spread my damage out while still doing full damage to a single target. The faint sound of conversation echoes down the pipe. What of the captive? Does she still refuse to speak? She may as well be a deaf mute for all the information we've gotten out of her. The others aren't much better. The Elzen gets on my nerves most of all. Every time he opens his mouth, it's only to spout gibberish. I do wonder, why is the Tribunus so obsessed with this Menfilia woman? They say she possesses some mystical power, something we Garleans don't have. Mystical power, like the kind the Beastmen use. How am I supposed to bloody know? If you're so curious, why don't you go ask the Tribunus yourself? As well try to tumble her. I like my head where it is, thank you very much. Our break is over. Best we get back to our stations. Look at this cat crouch I'm doing. The footfalls grow fainter until all is silent. So we didn't really learn anything except that she is indeed here, I guess. Which is not unhelpful information. Can we teleport back there? Teleport me. I don't want to wear out my pony this way. Zoop. So we are closing in on the Alfino. 'Tis good to see you again, Longpoint. I'm given to understand you've conducted some reconnaissance. Tell me, what were you able to learn? So Menfilia and the others are indeed at Castrum's Sentry. Their presence thus confirmed, we may proceed with the mission. While you were afield, Cid took the liberty of devising a plan of action. Pray, have the details from him.
Good work, Longpoint. As Alfino's already told you, we've plotted a course for their rescue. The gist of it is unchanged. We disguise ourselves as Imperial soldiers and infiltrate the stronghold. Glaumont is looking into ways to procure a suit of Magitech armor. In the meantime, I need your assistance for some preparation of my own. Menfilia and the others are counting on us, Longpoint. Let's not keep them waiting any longer than necessary.
Doop. Drowning out the voices.
While Glaumont goes about devising his plan, we need to see some preparation of our own.
C2.
Wouldn't you if the Imperials were to discover that they're short on armor? To prevent this from happening, I'm going to put together a makeshift communications jamming device. The explanation is like to get a bit technical, so bear with me. Imperial forces communicate at a distance via electromagnetic waves. Simply put, voices are born upon etheric energy, etheric lightning energy that permeates the air. Now the hill-sized cluster of corrupted crystals to the west has been observed to amplify the self-same energy. By making use of this property, we should be able to drown out Imperial voices. To ensure that we have enough amplification, we must identify the most potent crystals among the cluster. For this, I need you to go there and use this device to take readings. I'll mark the likely places on your map. Oh, and just so you know, plasmoids are drawn to lightning energy. Don't be surprised if you run into a few.
I think that voice is drifting quite a lot. But hey, it's theater, baby. 5 locations. 5, truly? It would help if I go the right way. I love this film shimmering in the air. Why is this place so fucked up? Is this where the final battle was held? It has that kind of energy, as it were. Do I have to use it from my inventory? Show me the keys. Electromagnetic reader. Doesn't look like it. So what am I looking for? I really see a use point here. I guess I can put it on Control D. Let's look for another one. Prime location. There we go. This is what we are after. We do still have to use it. Electromagnetic reader. Pop on up. The air nearby bursts into sparks. Good. I'd been hoping to show off. There's so many sparkles that I visually cannot track what's going on. A little bank here to help us keep track of the action. Ah, there we go. It was up high. Fortunately, we did not have to walk around this crystal to get there. Once again, we can actually use it from our bar. Let me mount, please. I want to ride the stag. Prime location. Oh, I have to click it? Ah, there we go. I did have to click it. This is just scintillating stuff, huh? Sparks. Ooh, there's lots of them this time. Spread the pain. Ifrit, do your thing. We've got a little family here. A whole coven of pain. Prime location. Zoop. These crystals any good, Bob? We like these crystals? Nyx. I knew a Nyx once. She played the witch in the high school production of Into the Woods and was extremely good. It was a really good production. I was quite moved, actually. Taking on Into the Woods is a high school, not even like a theater troupe. It was, I think they might have done a musical every other year or something there. But taking that on is like super ambitious, and to take on a really great one and to do a bang-up job is like something you can be proud of forever.
You have the readings. Excellent. Here, let me see the numbers.
What does it say? A complex-looking device that can detect the strength of electromagnetic waves.
Yes, 4 of these crystals should suit our purpose, though I pray that we won't have need of their power. My thanks, Long Point.
Oop, going right away from where we need to be. Ah, it's Glaument again.
Sarkmalark.
Clean the wax out of your ears now, because there's something I want you to do by way of preparation. The plan's to have you enter Castrum Sentry all decked out in Imperial duds, but a disguise is more than just the clothes you're wearing. You also gotta act the part. At the very least, you need to know how to perform a convincing Imperial salute. First impressions are everything, as they say. I could teach you the salute myself, of course, but it's best you learned it from the experts. So get yourself near as you dare to Castrum Sentry, and watch the Imperials doing what they do. What's your deal, Sark? In every and all things, I like my planning perfect and my execution precisely as predetermined. I am a stickler for detail. That is simply the way I am. Time was, I took on every odd job offered me, running messages and culling pesky fauna like a good adventurer. But I'm well past that now. These days, there's only one thing on my mind, and it's what brought me here. Fair enough. As long as it's useful to the cause, I mean... Alright, y'all don't need to watch this trip back. Let's go through the film. It's very dramatic, isn't it, in the distance? Save a couple seconds. We return. So there's a tree. And yeah, and big fucking fortress. This has real Toontown vibes here. Actually reminds me of some areas from the second World of Warcraft expansion. Oh, hello. Wait, no, I don't want to fight you. You gotta teach me how to salute, please. Show me how to be a man. I just want to make it in this global army. Can't stand that this fancy book that we're using here has like iPads that pop out of it. I don't really understand why that should be. Hey. Nothing to report, sir. We've received an anonymous warning that insurgent forces are near. We must redouble our vigilance. I shall recommend that patrols be increased. Looking fucking stylin'. I did very specific. I had those gloves just as by coincidence, but I really liked the way that they looked with the wrapped right hand and the unwrapped left hand. I mean, I might have wrapped both hands, but the imbalance is good too. They have kind of embarrassing cuffs, but in combination with this, I think that the cuff that we're seeing right now is actually part of the chest piece. I guess we could find out, couldn't we? All we'd have to do would be to unequip. Well, no, they're not. They just kind of look natural. Is there a chocobo on this thing? Is that what I'm seeing? Is that one of the gold ostriches that you can collect in Donkey Kong Country? It just looks good. Looks like a rolled up cuff. Or maybe it is different because is the gold chocobo still visible there? I guess it is. Well, anyway, point is, I like it. And drew attention to itself there. Anyway. Hey, Glament. So did you manage to learn the Imperial Salute? No. Best you don't demonstrate. I'm liable to fly into a rage and crack skulls. I'll just take your word for it. We learned the emote Imperial Salute, although we already had it, of course, because we are a graduate. Sark. Dressed for conquest. You are called Longpoint Arrowin, yes? I've heard of your plight from my friend Glomont. Glomont. As a fellow adventurer and son of Eorzea both, I would like to offer you my assistance. In order to infiltrate Castrum Sentry, you and your comrades must disguise yourselves as Imperial soldiers. The question is how to go about acquiring the helms and uniforms. There are places a man might purchase them, but individuals who deal in such wares are not the sort to whom you would entrust your secrets. It would be more prudent, I believe, to procure what you need via traditional means, from the bodies of their recently deceased owners. The fortified area before Castrum Sentry never lacks for Imperial patrols. It ought not to take long to obtain 3 sets of gear, 1 for each member of the infiltration team, Biggs, Wedge, and yourself. When you have what you need, please return here and allow me to inspect the spoils. Of course, buddy, of course. Let me see. Yep, no need to watch. Where's F9? Oh, my aunt is messaging me. I will reduce noise pollution. Mate, I'm about to talk to her, though. Hey, 5th Legion, 5th Cohort, Aquarius. 5th Cohort, Hoplomachus. 5th Cohort, Secutor. Do I need to kill them all? Oh, it kind of looks like I do. Alright, well, let's see if we can kill them. You know, kill them all. Wait, hang on. I thought I just muted that audio. Did I not? Oh, what? I muted Final Fantasy instead of Teams. Classic. A classic blunder. I'll pull them all over. I want everyone. Come on, bring everyone. I want to give them all a disease. Everyone, I said. All of them. Come on, buddy. Dude, aggro, please. Where's the one who's got sick on him? You. I'm sort of several levels over these guys, so this isn't that impressive, but still. Everybody should now be sick, maybe. Finally, I get to be the Vector that I wasn't in 2020. Pop him. Oh, this dude's like got some hit points. Once again, just the difference in grades of human are all over. Spread out diseases again. Pop these guys out. I think that Ifrit may have been just doing his own thing over there, but that's fine. It's really about the Imperial soldiers you don't kill. Alright, cool. Well, the deed is done. Let's just bip right back. Hello. Ooh, another E3 is moving by without any signs of a Bloodborne on PC. We were able to obtain 3 sets of Imperial equipment. Standard issue light infantry battle gear, reinforced with carbon and cermet fibers to provide maximum protection and minimum loss of mobility. Scars of war cover both back and front of this piece. Looks like the same description. Damaged as I'd suspected. In their present condition, I fear these uniforms and helms are like to draw suspicion. They must be repaired if only superficially. Fortunately, the blacksmith Eginolf at the Diamond Forge at Rowena's House of Splendors should be able to hammer them back into shape in no time. I've already sent word ahead and have been assured that he's expecting you. Worry not, we've already impressed upon him the need for utmost secrecy as to the nature of your mission. Great. I love secrets. Secrets. So he's gonna be inside probably, huh? This great bastion carved into the cliff face. Is this a wall or is this a door? Yeah, this is actually a fortification. Cool. And it's just a shop. This is just like seems overblown for a shop. Hey, Eginolf, how are you? So you're the adventurer Sark Monarch sent, are ye? I've been waiting for you. Now let's see what you got for me. It's good old Badarin here at the end of our journey. Because our journey is basically over, right? I mean, we're basically done with Final Fantasy XIV at this point. I see. Yes, I reckon I can hammer these back into shape for you. I love this guy's vibe. After all, I owed your friend Sark Monarch a favor or two. Took good care of our wagon off back in the day before I fell in with old Rowena, he did. Well, I know what I read into that, especially from a dude who looks like this. Did you know he's the son of one of the wealthiest families in the Sultanate? Wouldn't expect someone like that to end up in the life he did, but I suppose he felt the adventurer's life calling him always. But here I go blabbering on when there's work to be done. Just hold your horse birds for a moment or two, and the great Eginolf will have your gear looking good as new. Not gonna send me on a rabbit quest for materials, huh? That's new. Kind of expected that I would have to provide every part of the outfit. And there we have it. Won't do you much good in battle, mind you, but from what I hear, that's not your priority anyhow. Do send Sark Monarch my regards, won't you? So they like, I bet that dude's dating Sark and this is his ex. That's really the energy that I'm getting here. But of course it is. Vintage equipment's fallen out of favor of late. Though we still deal with them at Rowena's behest and our bespoke items. She won't have valuable shelf space being taken up by wares you don't sell, you see. I think they're saying that, yeah. Welcome to the Diamond Forge. Here we have but one goal, to offer the services of our crafting facilities in accordance to the wishes of the Revenant's Toll chapter of the Adventurers Guild. If it's Rowena you seek, you'll find her out the door and to your right. If there's aught else to help you with, I must ask you to leave. They sell artifacts. Sorry, but I've got my hands full assisting Eginolf with his orders. You're free to stand there and gape at the shelves all you wish, but if you need aught else, I'm afraid I cannot be of assistance. Really? Oh, there we go. Maybe that one. So this is like artifact gear? What is this kind of thing? Fancy hat. Pretty goofy hat. Goofy hat. Don't like that hat. Ooh, that's some classic Dragoon shit. That one's okay. Monk hat? Oh, don't like that. Do not like that. Is this one for? Ninja hat. Yeah, that's sick. That's awesome. I mean, the tassel's a little much. No visor, huh? And the Baron's chapeau. Yeah, you know, if you must. If you simply cannot otherwise. Can't adjust the visor on this crown. Is there a visor on this one? Oh, that one does have a visor, okay. Alright, well, we don't need to fucking dwell on that. In my own time, I can discover those mysteries. Let's talk to Rowena, though. I'd just like to meet the mistress. Didn't you say out and on the right? I don't see a Rowena.
Rowena. Rowena.
Well, she's not here, whatever. Very small detail. Sark Malark, talk to me. We've had the uniforms and helms repaired. Outer shell's been repaired to look as good as new. Yeah, these will serve beautifully. The great Eganolf never fails to impress. The quality of these repairs would fool even a legatus. Thus equipped, you should not have any trouble blending in amongst Imperial forces. Lest you fear that the Garleans might detect your foreignness, foreigners in fact form the greater part of the Garlean invasion force in Eorzea. Yep, that's how the Garleans work. Invade and conscript. You see, when the Empire subjugates a new territory, it assimilates the people of that land into its armed forces. In turn, these conscripted forces are sent to subjugate faraway lands. In this way, Garlemald nips rebellion in the bud and expands its territory in one fell stroke. With that, my part in your mission is done. I am full glad to have been of assistance in your cause. Why would I, a wealthy merchant, wish to help you? I know not where you heard such a tale, but believe me when I say that I am but another humble adventurer, only one who only desires to act in the best interests of the realm. You could also be a plant, though, because I happen to know certain things are going to happen here. Let's remember Sark's face. Fool me twice. Good work getting them Imperial duds. You'll be pleased to hear I ain't been idle myself. Took me long enough, but I finally hatched a plan to get us a suit of Magitech armor. Now, from what I've seen, Castrum Sentry deploys a Reaper for most of its patrols. Trouble is, the patrols themselves are irregular, meaning random routes and random deployments. Hardly any of them come anywhere near Revenant's toll. So, hoping to coax the Imperials out of their shells, I took the liberty of feeding them a bit of false intelligence. Bit of the old false intelligence. Told them insurgents had designs on their stronghold. It ain't far from the truth now I come to think of it. Any road, we should start seeing more patrols than we have up till now. We insurgents when they didn't conquer us. What you need to do is approach one of these patrols dressed up in your shiny tin suit and alert them to the enemy's presence. I like this lady's vibe. Having done that, you'll want to lure them as near to Revenant's toll as you can. Like as not, though, they'll be wary of venturing far from their own walls. If they do need a bit of extra encouragement, use this smoke signal here, filched fresh from an Imperial scout. They'll come running when they see that, and when the cavalry arrives, you hit them hard and make off with their Reaper. Simple as that. If I ain't mistaken, there's a patrol sweeping the perimeter right now, so run along, eh? Oh, and don't forget to salute. Couldn't I just go fucking bully them? Like, I got big arms. Yeah, I mean, I've got a fancy book, I've got all... Well, guess it's time to get our acting on. What the fuck is this indicator? Why does he have a little man over his head? 1 sec, I'm gonna snapshot that man. What is this? What is this? I have several people I could ask. Fog bomb. Boom. He was part of a hunt. Okay. That wasn't the indicator that I've seen before. Well, anyway, who cares? Who cares? Imperial Centurion, you've got a fancy hat. That looks terrible. One of our covert operatives, I take it. In or out of uniform, you would do well to remember your courtesies.